Our next comic, you've seen him in a short film called Ladies and Gentlemen, Jordan Rock. Give it up for Jordan Rock!
Do you feel like being in a big comedy family, there's too many comparisons for you to just have your own life?
This is what I feel like. I feel like there's too much of that's supposed to happen. Like, niggas don't really celebrate my wins as much as they would celebrate somebody else's win, because they're just like, that's supposed to happen. And yeah, I just got used to that. I've just gotten used to that. I celebrate other people's wins. Like, that's what I do to make myself feel good, because I've lived comedy. I feel like I've lived comedy like 4 times, you know, because I've lived it through Chris. I've seen it through Chris. I've seen it through Tony. I'm doing it, and then I see it through my friends. So it's like, I grew up in comedy my whole life, so I celebrate everybody else's win. But I am aware that maybe if I didn't have, you know, something, they would treat it more legitimately. Let's put it like that. But it takes time. It takes time. I think it's a time thing. You know, everybody in comedy that does stand-up comedy, they know me. And I had to prove that to them, because it was, you know, they just didn't know if I was serious. They see the name and they're like, eh. It was like, it was the consistency and the growth that made them realize, like, no, this is for real. So as I already conquered comedy, the comedy world, which is where I wanted to, you know, that's me, that's my world. And I'm going into acting, and I'm going into writing, and I'm going into like this, you know, like you said, the cusp of celebrityism. And all I think of it is just, if I can just stick around and just keep the quality up and keep on going, they'll catch on, you know? Because I'm building a slow resume. So once the big thing hits, they'll be like, oh, wait, he was in all of this?
And I remember talking to you in the past about just like, you know, just being very aware of not using your brothers purposely, you know? And even despite that, you still feel that people, that's weird to me, because I know that you don't do that at all.
Oh, but people don't know me, you know?
Right.
So it takes time, you know, they have to have a conversation with me to understand. But I'm not against it happening in the future and, like, you know, us coming together, but I feel like for legitimate sakes, I have to put in it's like, you know, 2 to 3 more years of what I'm doing before it can all like really make sense.
Have you had a moment where you're like, wow, here I am, Jordan Rock, like?
It was really when I did the first season of Love on Netflix, the Judd Apatow show. Because I was kind of, you know, social media and stuff will have you thinking like you're not doing a lot. And you'll be like, oh, I missed my shot because my numbers aren't up and all this. And then I booked Love, and it was like I was in the conversation again. So once I realized, like, oh, okay, cool. Like, once I realized, like, oh, this doesn't actually matter. This is not my actual work. Like, I work on stage and I work over here. This is something completely different. That I was like, okay, here's Jordan Rock. I'm actually a person in real life.
Not an epiphany this week. Like, I realized something. I realized I'm doing good in life, but I'm doing way better on Facebook. Like, I'm killing Facebook. I got friends, people like me, and it's all just from me taking pictures on stage. That's all I do. I take a picture of me on stage, I post it on Facebook, all my friends comment like, yo, I see you. You killing it. Stadium status. And I'm like, I'm in Gotham, calm down, calm down.
Social media is like the perks of the work. Like, you see like the fruits of the labor, but you don't really know anything behind the picture. Like, you're just building a perception based on like a little bit of things. And a lot of people get wrapped up in that. You know, a lot of people come to LA and they just wanna flex harder than they wanna do the actual work that it takes to flex. Or, you know, so everyone wants to look like a movie star. They don't want to actually be a movie star. They want to look like they're in the entertainment industry. They don't want to actually do the work of the entertainment industry. I want to do the work of the entertainment industry. Yeah, and those numbers move up all the time. So, you know, like I'd rather just put in the work and then put out the big thing, and everybody's like, "Whoa, where has this been?"
Nice.
It's like I've been developing it. I've been actually living and creating a real thing.
And so tell me, how did you meet like Pete Davidson and like?
That's a organic relationship. That is one of my first true friends in comedy. Like one of the first people where I was like, "Yo, let's hang out in the daytime and go half on weed." Like that was my first, like him and Ricky Velez, who is also in the King of Staten Island, my two first friends in comedy. Everyone in comedy is a peer. You see them when you go out, y'all might share some text messages, but like those two dudes were like the first dudes that I was like, "Yo, what do y'all do in the daytime? But like, let's hang out tonight. Let's do this." Those were the first two dudes.
Nice. Basically, how do you feel about where you are right now as a comedian, as a Black comedian, et cetera, all the I ams that you hold?
I don't know. I'm nowhere right now. I'm just in the abyss. I'm just floating. I haven't landed on any side of the coin. I'm just looking around right now, and I'm just observing and trying to figure out where, like, I don't even know, because everything that's happening is such a big event that's going to change the way we tell stories and take things in the future. So I don't even know. Because I know when the industry does open up, everything is going to be reliant on your actual relationships. You're not going to be, because people are all messed up right now. So like you said, you're going to reach to someone close to you rather than take a chance on somebody you don't know. So yeah, it's really a good time. I made that my point up years ago to stay close to my Black creative friends, because I just realized they had my better interest and could make things happen for me. I realized it was better for me to be known with all the Black creatives I need to know, instead of just be, on Instagram or be, chugging and jiving through Hollywood. I realized like, I need to know this guy and this guy, and just harvest those relationships. So maybe when the industry opens back up, we can figure out how do we even tell stories.
I've been to your sets before. You talk about being Black in America. That's not something that's a new topic for you necessarily.
No, I'm the guy that cries to Kendrick Lamar CDs. So, like I'll be caring when niggas don't be caring.
Everybody, all my white friends are coming up to me like right now, like, "Do you know Black Lives Matter?" I'm like, "Yeah, I knew. Yeah, I knew that for a while. I'm pretty sure that was for you. I'm pretty sure."
Do you feel as though your storytelling will change as a result of this moment?
Yeah, I'm gonna take more time to be in the moment and say everything I have to say. Cause I was already going through that before this ended, before lockdown. I was already saying I was gonna take this year to develop a better relationship with the audience. Because I always felt for years that I was showcasing for crowds. I get on stage and I'd be like, "Hey, like me," and I have to prove that I was funny, and I'd have to prove to them, and I'd have to prove to myself over and over again. So like, I'd just come out and be like, bam, 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 joke, 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 joke. But now I'm looking forward to just taking my time when I come back and just being like, and just bigger breaks, bigger things to say, because I know I'm funny. I know I can get to the laughs. I just there's certain things I want to say, and I'm gonna really appreciate being in front of people when it happens again. I think I had to live life to become a good comic. I had to live life. When I was in South Carolina, I was doing like an hour before I moved to New York, and then I moved to New York and I realized I sucked as a comic, and I threw all those jokes away, and I just started from scratch. And it took me 5 years just to figure it all out, put it all together. I had all these elements all over the place, and then it took me 5 years to be like, all right, this is it. And that was 5 years ago, and I look at that like that shit was trash. So it just always keeps on growing.
You want to know what's so funny? I was like, wasn't sure if you were going to be able to take the interview. I was like, he's right at celebrity status where he could really.
No, I'm not. You can find me at Jordan Rock 843, my everything, Twitter, Instagram. Find me. Say what's up.